Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're totally shattering this illusion of safety that's currently surrounding AI agents. We're going to dive right into the massive and frankly unseen dangers that are lurking inside your enterprise infrastructure right now. Look, we are way beyond simple chatbots just hallucinating facts, right? We're talking about fully autonomous systems making actual operational decisions, invoking tools, and honestly, in many cases, failing absolutely spectacularly.
So to really wrap our heads around this threat, we have to ask ourselves a pretty critical question. Are we just blindly deploying these autonomous systems? Like, they inherit the exact same expectations as our traditional production services, but without anywhere near the necessary controls? And, well, the data suggests the answer is a resounding yes. We've officially shifted from conversational AI to agentic AI, and our security models are, to put it mildly, drastically lagging behind.
Get this. According to the 2026 State of AI Agent Security Report by Gravite, a totally staggering 88% of organizations have either confirmed or suspected AI agent security incidents, and that is just this year alone. If you look specifically at high-stakes sectors, like healthcare, that number jumps even higher to over 92%. So yeah, this is absolutely no longer a theoretical risk. It's a widespread reality hitting us right now.
Yet, paradoxically, we have this massive governance gap. While over 81% of technical teams are already way past the planning phase, they're out there actively testing or running agents in live environments, only 14.4% of these AI agents have actually received full IT or security approval. Just let that sink in. 14.4%. We're basically facing a tidal wave of what we call shadow AI, where these autonomous systems are interacting with real production data before the security teams even know they exist.
Section 1. Tracking the chaos. We can really see this massive vulnerability surface by looking at a recently compiled database tracking 90 verified incidents over a 2-year span.
And when you actually see those 90 verified attacks cataloged in one single place, covering literally everything from memory poisoning to full system compromise, the raw industry shock is just palpable. As one person pointed out, the sheer volume of these incidents in early 2026 is completely wild, especially considering it's only April. The scale of this vulnerability surface is just undeniable at this point.
Okay, so we can categorize these 90 chaotic incidents into 3 main operational attack vectors. We've got supply chain attacks, framework vulnerabilities, and then, the most devastating of all, enterprise cascades. We're going to walk through exactly what each of these looks like out there in the real world.
Section 2. The hidden layers, supply chains, and frameworks. We'll start here, looking at where organizations are importing massive systemic risks long before an agent ever even goes live.
So here's the really crucial point. The real attack surface often isn't actually the underlying language model itself. It's the unaudited dependency layer. In that compiled incident database, we saw supply chain attacks hit tools like LittleLM, Trivy, and Axios, all in the exact same window. And it gets crazier. The whole rise of vibe coding, where developers just prompt an AI to generate Python code based on the vibe of the intended functionality. It's resulting in massive vulnerability rates. We're talking 16 to 18% of generated Python files containing flaws. You're basically importing software supply chain risks at a massive scale.
And beyond dependencies, we're seeing critical framework flaws across major platforms like LangChain, LangFlow, and OpenClaw. Plus, as we can see mapped out here, some pretty terrifying things are happening in other popular agents too. AutoGPT, they suffered a publicly known hard-coded UUID flaw that literally allowed full remote code execution on backend servers. CrewAI had to patch a massive CVSS 9.2 vulnerability where an exposed internal GitHub token just leaked, all because of improper exception handling. And the browser use agent suffered a bypass that actually let attackers spoof whitelisted domains. It's a real mess.
Now, this brilliantly illustrates a much wider problem. Security researchers will quickly point out that frameworks like CrewAI and LangGraph, well, they aren't inherently vulnerable by design, but their default developer configurations, they basically leave every single critical security decision totally unenforced. Think about it. If a developer uses a shared .env file for credentials, or if they fail to restrict an agent to specific tools, which, by the way, most online tutorials completely skip over, that massive vulnerability gets carried straight into production.
Section 3. The blast radius, enterprise cascades. Now we're escalating from the framework layer to see what actually happens when an enterprise cascade kicks off.
What we're looking at here highlights one of the most devastating breaches documented so far. Threat actors managed to compromise just one single integration, the Drift chatbot inside SalesLoft. But because of how the agent's access was configured, this single, solitary breach completely cascaded into Salesforce, Google Workspace, Slack, Azure, and AWS environments. And the kicker? It didn't just happen to one company. It impacted over 700 organizations. Literally, one agent, one integration, 700 cascading enterprise breaches. Unbelievable.
But even more chilling than that is a confirmed incident from late 2025. A state-sponsored threat group targeted roughly 30 global sectors, including tech, finance, government, the whole shebang. But instead of doing the manual hacking themselves, they actually weaponized Anthropic's Claude Code Engine coding agent. The AI agent autonomously executed 80 to 90% of the tactical infiltration steps with barely any human involvement. It is the very first documented large-scale cyber attack where the AI itself was the primary operator of the exploit. Just wild.
Section 4. Shadow AI and Reframing the Threat. With organizations out there managing an average of 37 different agents, mostly unmonitored, we urgently need to redefine how we view this risk.
We really must pivot our understanding here. Traditionally, AI risk was all about unsafe text, bad advice and hallucinations. But now, agentic AI risk is entirely about what the system actually does. The danger now is an autonomous agent triggering completely catastrophic actions. We're talking about an overprivileged optimizer agent dynamically invoking admin functions it was never supposed to touch, or a prompt injection actually tricking an agent into exfiltrating your entire CRM database. It's a whole new ballgame.
Research from a framework called Agent Fence maps out this exact architectural exposure perfectly. They evaluated different deep agent archetypes while keeping the underlying language model exactly the same. And they found that agents suffer severe operational breaks, things like authorization confusion and denial of wallet attacks, purely based on their architecture. AutoGPT exhibited a mean security break rate of over 50%. That proves beyond a doubt that the real risk lies in the agent's control flow and memory handling, not just the LLM itself.
The authors of the Agent Fence architecture evaluation basically hit the nail on the head. They said the most dangerous failures are not unsafe tokens, but unsafe trajectories. Ultimately, agent security absolutely must be reframed around what matters operationally. Does an agent stay within its explicit goal and authority envelope over time, without deviating? If it has access to your databases, can it be tricked into altering its trajectory and, say, deleting them?
So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to consider for your own enterprise deployments. If your AI agent goes rogue today, or your infrastructure gets hijacked tomorrow through a supply chain flaw, a framework vulnerability, or a prompt injection, what exactly is the blast radius? Do you actually have strict tool scoping in place? Or does that autonomous agent basically hold the keys to your entire kingdom? Think about it.